Turn one. We'll start with the best one. Andrew Luck is up for the Hall of Fame in 2024. Only played 6 years. Was fantastic, though, for those 6 years. Really bad roster. Comes into, seriously, a bottom 3 roster. 11-5, 11-5, 11-5, right? Gets to an AFC championship game with one of the worst rosters probably to ever get that far.
Yeah.
Up for the Hall of Fame this coming year. Does he deserve to be a Hall of Famer? That would be the debate. What do you think?
No. Nope. I've thought about it now.
Let's hear why.
So here's the thing. I didn't know that we were basing Hall of Fame off of getting a not so talented team to the AFC Championship game. I didn't know that singular accomplishment was Hall of Fame worthy. Number two, you played 6 years. Fantastic during those 6 years for sure. Loved Andrew Luck. Nothing against the guy. But you look at careers like a Phillip Rivers. Longer, more longevity, was a pretty good, solid franchise quarterback, and he's like a fringe guy for the Hall of Fame. So then you have like Roethlisberger, right? Breeze. These are Hall of Fame type careers where you're the staple of the city. You're the face of the city. Yeah, you win some Super Bowls. You don't just make it to an AFC championship game. Maybe you win it. Maybe you go to the Super Bowl at least.
Maybe you win that too.
So, yes, he's so talented. But he walked away from the game after 6 years. Yes, I understand. The circumstances are crazy. But, you have to look objectively at this. Because if we're just going to start letting guys like Andrew Luck into the Hall of Fame, we're going to open the doors to everybody that had a solid 4 to 5 year spurt in their career and then dropped off. No. The Hall of Fame is for people that can sustain a career over a long period of time and be great over that period of time. Win Super Bowls. Win AFC championship games. Get there on a consistent basis. Compete in the playoffs. That's the definition of somebody that goes into the Hall of Fame.
Now, I would tend to agree with you. I think to get into the Hall of Fame, you have to be excellent. And I think the definition of excellent is, or I guess you have to be great. And the definition of great is sustained excellence, yes. Right? And although he was excellent for 6 consecutive years, I don't believe that is a long enough. I don't think he's sustained that long enough. I think it needs to be longer than 6 years. If it is as short as 6 years, right? For example, Mahomes. I think Mahomes could retire tomorrow and get into the Hall of Fame. But the difference is he has 2 Super Bowls. He has a Super Bowl MVP. He has 2 league MVPs, right? Although Andrew Luck was good, in those 6 years, he does not have the accolades requisite to have that short of a career and still get into the Hall of Fame. I think it's possible. I don't think his resume is the one to do it. Yeah. But, to play devil's advocate here, another argument is, were you at one point one of the best players in the game for a period of time? You could say for a half decade, Andrew Luck was a top 3 quarterback in football. For example, you threw Phillip Rivers out there. Although Phillip was good, Phillip Rivers was never... You'll look back, Phillip Rivers and Kirk Cousins are the same player. Where, just because Phillip was in the league for a long time and compiled all these stats, he was never a top 5 quarterback in the league ever. Ever. Eli Manning was rarely even top 10. And they'll both probably get in. So, there's a fine line between, so you play for 15 years. Just because you play for 15 years doesn't mean you're automatically getting in. Because if you play for 15 years and you're productive, like Kirk Cousins, trust me, Kirk Cousins is going to be in the top, 20 all-time in yards and touchdowns. Because he's going to play for another 10 years probably. Derek Carr might have an argument like that, right? If you're going to let in those type of guys who are just slightly above average for a long time, yeah. I think there's an argument for a short burst of greatness.
Sure.
I personally don't think he should get in. I think there's at least an argument for a short burst of greatness as opposed to 15 years of slightly above average.
And I see that. But, if you're going to have a short burst of greatness, that better win you a Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, yes.
You better at least win your conference.
Yes.
You better have a couple league awards.
I would agree, right? So I said, short sustained burst of greatness. like a Mahomes level
Yes.
burst of greatness. I don't think Luck had that.
He didn't.
And there's an argument, but he
didn't.
didn't, I don't think, in my eyes.
And just because he got hurt and had to stop playing the game doesn't mean we have to pander to this fact that he has to somehow be in the Hall of Fame.
I would agree with you. I would agree.